Pow! Hello, guys. Leon Street here, and it's Wednesday evening in the UK. And as if you didn't know already, it's time to lock in, get your notepads at the ready, and get ready for the content for today. I've got a really great topic, and it's I guess by the time I reveal it, it's going to be very simple, but I'm going to say it's going to be profound for a lot of business owners out there who are looking to change and up level their results in marketing right now. And I guess it's something that for me, I've always been aware of it, but it's only in, I guess, more recent times that I've really locked into it more and more and more. And so if you got any questions as I'm going along, please hit me up with your questions. And today's video is all about how this one shift in marketing strategy will transform your marketing results. If you're a business owner, this is important. This is critical. This is going to save you time, frustration, anger, annoyance, and it's going to get rid of all of that to some degree. I'm not going to say totally, but it's really going to change things around for you. So before I go into it, first of all, guys, if this is the first time you're watching me and you're watching on YouTube, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell to be notified of all the great new videos that I put out. And if you're not a subscriber already and you're watching this on Facebook, jump over to YouTube and do subscribe, because there's about 80 plus videos or so on my channel, great content that you can just really dive into to help take your business to the next level. So I'm going to get into this. I've got a mini presentation prepared for you with 3 stories as well to explain this one shift and what I'm talking about, so that you guys can actually understand how it's applied in the real world, and how, I guess, for a lot of business owners, it goes under the radar. It's like under people's noses and they are missing this, and it's clear as day, but I see it so often. So finally, if you do have questions, as I said, drop them as a comment below this video. I do check out all the comments. I do answer all the comments myself personally. And if you're enjoying the content, give me a thumbs up or give me a heart, just so we know. Right, so let me share the presentation with you first of all, guys. And I guess finally, if you've not watched any of my videos before, I just speak my truth. Yeah, there's no fluff here. This is all from experience. So how this one shift will transform your marketing results. So first of all, if you haven't done so already, make sure you jump over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, go grab those videos. There's hours of content on there, great stuff. And I'm not just saying this, there are actually comments on the videos on YouTube, as well as people who watched on Facebook and really enjoyed what I publish and put out. So here's the overview. First of all, you've heard it before. This one magic pill, secret formula, blah, blah, blah. You've heard it to the point where you're kind of bored shitless and tired of seeing this stuff on, YouTube, Facebook, all over the place, right? But I genuinely have something that is not so commonly used by business owners that will transform your marketing results. So first, I have some stories to share with you. So if you're seeing this clearly on screen as well, if you are, just give me a thumbs up or give me a yes in the comments. I just want to make sure that this is screen. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So I'm going to make me small, make the presentation a bit bigger. And then I'll make me bigger again in a moment, because I really like to be the center of attention. I'm joking, guys, because this content's really good. But if you're seeing this, just let me know and let me get into this. So story 1. So Barack Obama's Yes We Can web ad. So amongst the most unconventional ad campaigns today, this was only available on the web, and it was produced by will.i.am of the Black Eyed Peas and Jesse Dillon, Bob Dylan's son. So the video was produced by, let's say, a top music producer, which is will.i.am. The Black Eyed Peas at that time were like one of these huge, I guess, pop bands, kind of pop/urban bands, and will.i.am is a very respected music producer. And this is the first sign. Yeah, so Barack Obama, he basically endorsed himself by getting, somebody, I guess, who was in the public spotlight and considered, I guess, influential at the time, as well as Bob Dylan's son. The ad put music to Obama's New Hampshire primary concession speech after he lost the state to Hillary Clinton. So it features a succession of over 30 celebrity performers singing in his words. So this was the first step in his campaign. And if you don't know who Obama is, he was president of America, especially for those of you in the UK who only know about UK politics, or anybody else actually who doesn't follow what happens in America, but I'm sure you do know. So he was successful in becoming president, and not only just becoming president, becoming the first black president in the United States. But the real cool thing that I like about this is from the very start, he enlisted the right people to be around him. So there was a real plan to the campaign. Yeah, I'm giving you clues here, guys, as to what this one shift is. And it was a campaign that was thought out way ahead of him actually, being, I guess, announced and, being successful as the first black president in America. And if you did see stuff at the time, this was the main post. This was the main kind of theme of his campaign hope. So he first posted this video, which was like kind of the pre-promo to the campaign. And it went viral. It went to over 26 million views in a few days. And that's back in 2008 when we were still on dinosaur broadband, right? And it led to online fundraising boom like never seen before, and a new wave of momentum for Obama's campaign. So it just literally just turned things around for his campaign, right? And so Obama beat his Republican challenger, John McCain, with 68% of the electoral vote. The one cool thing that I like about this is that everything was kind of planned out and it was all scheduled and done ahead of time. Don't get me wrong, there were different things obviously that happened probably ad hoc and acted as big turning points for him in the campaign, but it was all planned ahead, right? So that's my first story, guys, and I want you to understand that what I'm sharing with you, and I've said it a few times actually, the word campaign, right, is the shift that most people miss in their marketing, because they think of themselves as this small business owner, and they don't understand as a small business owner that you must pay attention to the campaigns that you create. There's more to this, guys. So let me move on to story 2. And as I get into this, you're really going to see and understand where I'm coming from. Good evening, Kahanya. Thank you for your continued support. And that's for my fiance watching. And Kahanya, if you didn't know, means honey. So anyway, a bit of insight from my Polish fiance. Right, story 2, guys. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. So I don't know if you know who he is. He's famed for, first of all, being, this amazing wrestler from the WWF, then the WWE, and then, for the past 2 years running, he is the #1 highest paid actor in the world. Yeah, for the past 2 years running. So the point I want to get to here is, and just focus on his, I guess, the films that he's in more recently, is that Hobbs & Shaw was a new venture that The Rock took as part of the Fast and Furious brand, kind of took that, licensed it into a new kind of brand under that title as Hobbs & Shaw. And the point I want to get to is that if you don't know who The Rock is, then fine. But, as I said, he's the #1 paid actor in the world 2 years running. But with every film that The Rock stars in, the film starts probably, let's say, 2 years, maybe 12 months at the least, ahead of it actually going to box office and then launching, right? So when you look at this, all of the films are done in advance to the film going to box office and hopefully being, a critical success as well as a financial success. And there's clues as to why The Rock is the highest paid actor over the past 2 years. Literally all the films that he's been in probably over the past 5 years have been absolute successes financially in the box office, meaning they've grossed billions, hundreds of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars at the minimum. So the point I want to get to is The Rock's muscles brought in more than 60 million domestically for this new franchise, Hobbs & Shaw. Now, here's the point that I want you to understand as a business owner, and this is the critical piece, is that all of the films, you watch The Rock, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all of his social media, all the messages that he puts out are all driven as part of those campaigns until the launch of those films. And I think The Rock is probably the #1 most followed person on Instagram. I could be wrong, somebody can correct me, but the point I want to get to is that he doesn't star in a film and just randomly put content out saying, hey, it's The Rock here. My film was in the cinema last week. Make sure you go and watch it. Yeah, that does not happen. There is a campaign approach to how the films are released. And this is, again, another clue as to what business owners are missing when it comes to their marketing. It's the focus on a campaign-driven approach. So there we go, guys. I'm dropping these clues for you. Here's my final story. Story 3. So do you remember the iPhone? Yeah. I think the most prolific device that, you know, came out as a mobile phone. Apple has aired many advertisements promoting the different models of the iPhone since its initial release in 2007. Yeah. What I do know of this, based on my own research into Apple, around Steve Jobs and I guess some other famed people who crossed paths with Steve, is that I think the iPhone was in development for something like 2.5 years before it was actually launched. So here's another clue, guys. So before the phone was launched, it was already in development. So they're developing something that there is no promise of it being a success, but they're focused on the development of a product, kind of like you as a business, could be a product or service, but they're 2.5 years in, you know, development. And then not only when the product is, I guess, getting close to when the prototype's ready and they know that they can actually ship, they start to launch the campaign to promote it before it's actually available to be shipped. The company is well known for their advertisements and marketing strategy. Now, here's the interesting part. And again, now I'm leading, and you should know what the clue is by now. This one shift is all about campaigns, guys. The phone was announced on January the 9th, 2007, but it wasn't released until January, February, March, April, May, June, 6 months later. Yeah. So it was announced 6 months before it was released for people to actually hold in their hands. That's the clue, guys. So there was a 6-month campaign. Yeah. And here's the thing. Apple, not only did they spend the 2.5 years developing this thing, they then had another 6 months before they could actually, release it to people. So it's like a 3-year burn on development and then launch with the campaign. So when the iPhone launched, it successfully sold 1.39 million units in 2007. And I've put some stats on the screen just so you can see that what's actually happened with the momentum of the iPhone over the years. And you can see it literally does over 200 million units, or has done for, from 2015 to 2018. So you could say it's a pretty damn good success, right? And the key thing about all of that is when they launched the first iPhone, they followed the same model. What they would do is when they had the new iPhone, the new version, they would announce it, but it would be approximately 6 months before you could hold it. Yeah. And all of this was driven by their approach to have a campaign-driven business. Now, this is what I want to talk about, guys. This is the shift. They are campaign-driven businesses. Now, if you're watching this right now, this, trust me, is a big shift for a lot of businesses, because a lot of businesses are flying by the freaking seats of the pants. And the thing is, a lot of people, let me break this down for you, because I really want you to take this home and understand how you can shift where you are right now in recession, in whatever lockdown you're in, to transform where you are and where you're going in your business. And so you can take this approach forward and start to look at how you can change things just by what I'm going to share with you now. So every example in those 3 stories that I've shared with you, all 3 stories are focused on something called campaign-driven, and a campaign-driven approach, meaning there is plans ahead of time. Yeah. So imagine if the iPhone launched and, Apple hadn't done any pre-promotion, they hadn't had any launch campaign leading up to, the point where a person can hold it in their hands. Imagine what the sales would have been like. There'd have been far less. Would you agree? So think about you as a small business owner when you've got your offers, you've got your services. Like, do you do any pre-marketing? Do you focus on, let's plan 6 months ahead, let's plan 1 month ahead, even like 1 week ahead of what we're actually going to put out to our audience? And this is where people I'm going to be kind and polite. This is where people mess up, right? And this is where business owners end up with frustration, anger. They're pissed off. They're annoyed. Why aren't people buying? You know, what's wrong with my audience, or what's wrong with people? I'm putting a great price together. And this is the thing. Imagine your product or service to be a Hollywood blockbuster film, just for 1 minute. Just imagine it. Yeah. Your product or service is a Hollywood blockbuster film, but you've done no pre-promo. You haven't released a trailer, i.e. marketing, video marketing, right? You haven't released the second trailer, the third trailer. You haven't put any campaign posters. Imagine those to be social media images. You haven't put any Instagram stories, Facebook lives. You've done no promo. You've done no marketing. And yet on the launch day, when you put something out there, you're hoping people buy. And that's the challenge. That's the problem. And if you want to take your business to the next level, you shift by taking this approach to become a campaign-driven business. And this is the part that I want to share with you guys. So here are the steps to a campaign-driven strategy that you can use. Or as I've spelled it, strategy. So it should be strategy. So step one is, if you want to start to embody this, you can start to plan your year or even 18 months in advance. Yeah. And it's something that I'm revisiting right now for myself. I'm like, right, what's the next 18 months looking like for me? I've got my Google Doc open. I'm planning out different months, and I'm looking at what's the lead time, what's the pre-promo time, and what is the hype, what is the engagement, what is the connection to my audience that I need to create in order to be in a position that when it comes to, launch night or the red carpet for my service or product to be put out to the market, so that there are people ready to buy tickets, ready to buy the service, right? So step two is, once you've planned out your year, what offers will you be running? Yeah, some people think, I'm an accountant, or I'm a coach, or I'm a consultant, or I'm a training company, or whatever business you're in. You think, well, I have this product, I have the same product or the same service, so it's like I've got the same offer, and people get in touch with me, I give them a quote, or I have my prices, and people just get in touch with me, and that's it. So the thing is, your product or your service is not your offer. And this is where people they fall short. They don't understand the difference between offers and your product and service. They're two separate things. Good evening, Yadira. Thank you for jumping on. And once you start to understand what offers are, that's how you start to put together something that becomes compelling, becomes irresistible. It's almost like a no-brainer, irresistible thing that you've got to have. So think about when people turn up to the cinema or pre-book their cinema tickets for a new blockbuster film, it's because of the offer, the enticement of what people have put into it, i.e. the marketing teams of these, I guess these movie studios. Think about the iPhone. Like, why is it that when you see, whether you have an iPhone or an Android, it doesn't really matter. When you see that device or that electronic thing and you've got to have it, or that new car or whatever it is, like, think about what's led you to feel that way, the emotions behind it. And it's usually because of what's presented to you as the offer. And if you can, tap into that, that's how you change. That's how you shift. That's how you move to this campaign-driven strategy approach. So step three is, what lead magnets will you use? So when it comes to being able to kind of, repurpose and use content that is going to provide value to your audience and allow you to attract leads, allow you to attract attention, this is one of the things that you've got to look at. So you might have your offers, but what's going to get people kind of through the first step or to the first step of your campaign? So, you've got them on board and they're like, hey, I like that thing that you put out. I've got some interest. And then once they see that, you can start to re-engage with them leading up to the launch of whatever service you have, or if it's a continued service, like an evergreen service, but you've got a campaign that kind of builds up momentum and gets people really into what it is that you have. That's the key. So let me break that down. As small businesses, what kind of lead magnets could you be using? So you've probably seen this, guys. There's a lot of people who use this. PDF guides, yeah, they work. Webinars, VSLs, what Tripwire products. So if you don't want to go straight to lead magnet and you want to go straight to, hey, I want to receive some cash and develop like a self-liquidating offer where you get some cash, it pays your advertising and it keeps things, self-liquidating. That could be one way. You see a lot of people who run challenges. I've seen so many different different business owners in the past 6 months through lockdown, they're now launching challenges. Why do you think people do challenges? The reason being, it gets people juiced up, it gets people energized, thinking about you. And if you do your challenge right, you'll have your offer ready as part of that challenge coming towards the middle or the end of your challenge. And this is it. When you start to look at your business from a campaign driven strategy, you stop fluffing around and just doing things ad hoc here, ad hoc there. What you're effectively doing is leading your audience and driving everything about your business and your results to a conclusion, which is to generate sales, right? You may be thinking different things. Oh, I want to have more impact. I want to have more this or more that. But the reality is that if you're in business, you're driving your audience to sales, because otherwise you're not running a business, right? So step 4, what channels will you focus on? So as part of your campaign driven strategy, it would be Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google, Instagram, email marketing. It could be JV, joint venture partnerships, strategic partnerships. Like, what channels or what methods will you use to get to your target audience? Yeah. And these are just a few steps that you can embody in your business in order to drive forward so that you can focus on this campaign driven strategy. And I guess just take things to that next level. There's probably more things I could have put into here, but what I wanted to do is just give you an idea effectively of just the key steps, the kind of simple steps that you could use to take your business to that next level. Now, for me, one of the great things that I've shared with you in those stories, that they all follow this. There's a few obviously subtle steps that probably not in here, but these are the core ones that you can start to use as a business owner. And for me, if you're stuck right now and you're thinking, well, I did social media last week, or I did social media 2 days ago, and I haven't got the results. This is part of why, a lot of people go around in circles, hiring agencies, hiring a social media manager, because what you're doing is you're not looking at your business as like a group of campaigns. Whether you launch, let's say you did 6 campaigns a year as an example, like you did one every 2 months, or you did 12 campaigns, one every month, or you did 3 campaigns, one every 4 months. And depending on how your business is structured, you've really got to look at, well, what are you doing to build up momentum, to build up engagement, to build up interest, in order to get the person to the point where they see your service, your product as that thing that they must buy. Yeah, because that way you won't start, you won't be looking back and thinking, well, last week didn't work with my marketing, or the previous week, because you'll know that actually what you've got to do is connect all of your marketing so that it almost goes from steps 1 to 10 to lead your audience to where you want them to be, which is, to get them to buy your offer, right? So those are some steps that you can use, and that's the one shift that if you can take that into your business and stop kind of just doing things ad hoc. Oh, what pictures can I take today and put them on social media, or what can I do just to kind of show up? Like, all of those things are great, but imagine if you're doing those things with the purpose of having people buy from you, because everything is driven by your campaigns that lead to your offers, right? And if you do that and you take that on board, you'll start to look at the real things that are going to make a difference to your business, because you're going to be looking at how many leads have I got, how many prospects have I got, how many sales have I got? Yeah, because your campaign will be driven by those numbers. How many people are we impacting? How many joint venture partners are we connected to? Because all of those numbers will eventually lead you to the final number of generating sales. Yeah, and if that's your first sale, great, because then that will give you the opportunity to then create more sales when you do upsells. So there it is, guys. That's the one shift that that will make a massive difference to your business. If it can work for President Obama, if it can work for the Dwayne Rock Johnson, if it can work for Apple selling their iPhone, can it work for a small business owner? Do you think? I think so. And that's the main reason why I wanted to share this with you, because I see so many business owners that they're so caught up in ad hoc, jumping on the latest trend, doing virtual networking right now, online networking. Let me just connect with random people. Like it just shows it's all driven by a random approach to marketing. But if you start to take a more strategic approach to marketing, I guarantee you'll see difference in your marketing. You'll see a difference in your results. You'll see a difference in the sales that you generate. And rather than just flying by the in the seat that you're on, you know, take that step, be courageous and start to plan things in, because once you start to plan things in, then you can delegate, because then you can delegate to your social media person, you can delegate to your marketing person, you can delegate to your salesperson, because now everything has an end result or an end point that you're leading to. Yeah, the crescendo. So that's it, guys. You know, if you love these videos, remember to give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. If you enjoyed the content, remember to drop a comment. If you've got any questions as well and you're thinking, well, how do I do that for my business, Leon? I'm not quite clear how to implement a campaign driven strategy. Send me a message or just drop a comment below this video. Final point is I'm launching a new workshop coming up. It's a 2-day workshop, and I want to share this with you guys just so you can get some insights if you are looking for that extra bit of help and what you can do to take your business to the next level. And the thing that I'm launching, very simple, guys, but I just want to share with you. It's a 2-day workshop, yeah, and it's gonna start in October. I'll be releasing the date very soon. But the 2-day workshop's called the Business Accelerator Bubble, yeah, and I've used it because in the UK for this lockdown, they're using this term where they say you have to be in a bubble, meaning you can only connect or be socially in the presence of 6 other people from 6 other households. So I thought, you know, let me jump on that bandwagon right there for business owners, yeah. There's another tip for you. Jump on what's going on in society. But the final thing, this is a 2-day workshop where I'm going to hold your hand to guide you on how to implement a marketing strategy, and more to the point, a campaign-driven marketing strategy, so you can take your business to the next level. It's going to be over 2 days, and I'll be covering on day 1, we'll be looking at things like how to identify your hot niche. We'll be looking at the super product creation formula. So whether you have products or services, you know, we'll then be looking at the NBI offer method, which is the no-brainer irresistible offer method that I can help you to craft multiple offers, even if you only have one product or service, just to show you how to do that, to make it a no-brainer irresistible thing to your target audience. Day 2, we're going to move more into the tactics, and we're going to look at the story accelerator message formula. We'll then look at the lead magnet attraction system, the traffic on tap method, and the secret sales script. And on both days, there'll be a Q&A on both days. If you are interested and you want to take your business to the next level, drop me a message. This is a paid workshop, guys. It will be online, will be on Zoom, and it will only be limited. I think I've put to 8 business owners. But if you really want to start to implement something that's going to shift your results, especially if you're in the UK right now, you're forced with another 6 months of potential lockdown, and you just want, you really want to, you know, take things to that next level and I guess recession proof where you're at, it's time for you to message me, guys. And so do reach out to me, and I'll tell you more about this workshop that I'm holding. So remember, this is the Business Accelerator 2-day workshop. So that's it, guys. That's all from me tonight. I just want to say thank you for watching. I really love having you guys on board, and you know, I'm grateful for you guys turning up every Wednesday. Remember, I'm here 8:30 p.m. every Wednesday, and you can also catch me on a Sunday morning 8:30 a.m. where I talk more about, I guess, just being a human being, business owner, yeah, emotions, different things, challenges and responsibilities, all that kind of jazz. So anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening, morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and thank you for watching. Until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.